right? Vote no. That's all I can tell you. Now, the other thing I have here, Easter morning, I get a paper laying on my driveway. It says, Monroeville hired firm long before public knew. Mr. Yakin brought this up tonight. They hired CSI. Mr. Little, Mr. Dice, their names in their paper here. If anyone would like to refute this or talk to me about it, I'd be more than happy to. But for the first time I've ever heard Mr. Yakin say something I was very much interested in. I am interested in that.
If you recall, Robert, Mr. Little gave a great explanation on how that happened. And Tim, if you maybe want to repeat that as you did at the meeting.
Well, Bob, I cannot say anything more that is in that newspaper article. Okay, what occurred is exactly what's in that newspaper article. Suffices to say, the vote was ratified in April, and it's been approved, and that's it.
Okay, we're talking after the fact, though.
Well, you are correct, and as I said to council at the last meeting, should that have been on the March agenda meeting for the council meeting? I'll say, yeah, I said probably. I think I'm quoted as saying probably. Okay, and it wasn't. And I'll say that was a lack of communication between me and Mr. Dice, okay? But there isn't any violation of the Sunshine Law. Nothing has been trying to be done in any kind of deception, all right? It was passed, it was ratified, and I can give you an example. And I've given Mr. SIlver the same example, and anybody else that has spoken to me about it. If this council was involved in contract negotiations with the union, and we decided to hire special counsel, and it was 2 days after a council meeting, and I go to council, I say, we're going to need some, and I say, fine, I have the authority to do that under the Home Rule Charter. And then the special counsel incurs hours, contract negotiations, and it's ratified at the next meeting. That's one example. So should it have been clearer and been done in March? Yes. It wasn't, but it was ratified at the next meeting.
Okay, you made a statement just now that if you had something come up and you got a council approval, then you could do it.
Well,
Now here, let me finish, please.
go ahead.
In this, it just said you didn't have council approval to do it. Now, I mean, here's all these people here. They can deny it, say yes, no, I don't know what they're going to do. But in the paper, it says they didn't even confirm that. Now, you're saying that you should have the, and I agree. You cannot do everything on a timetable unless you have the consent of these good people. And like I said, I trust these people, and I don't want to lose any trust in anybody up here. And this makes me mistrust that.
And as I said to, not to Mr. SIlver, but another reporter, not anything illegal or non-transparent. What the biggest thing is here is exactly what you're saying, is maintaining the credibility with the public.
That's exactly right.
Perception's reality. And unfortunately, this gives questions to you, Mr. Yakin, about what occurred. All right? Mr. Dice, we received authority. We talked about this in 2 executive sessions as is stated in that article. So it wasn't like as if council didn't know about it. We discussed this at length, all right, and it was moved ahead with, okay? And like I said, I cannot explain the situation, Bob, any more than I'm explaining it now, any more that is in that article.
See, I just don't want to lose faith with you people.
And I agree. And
I did with the last council.
I agree.
I mean, it was very bad. I mean, I'd come up here every meeting, and it would just be like pulling teeth to find out a good answer, good question, the way you guys were running things. And there's not one person. I've known her dad for years. I know the doctor. I mean, there's many people I know personally, and I want to keep that faith with this council. And like I said, to do backstabbing stuff, I don't approve.
Well, would you not agree that certainly a mistake was made.
A mistake was made. All I'm asking.
And I think I think Mr. Little, and I think
Well, that's
he's
all
trying to.
that's all I'm
I think
asking.
everybody's not, if you remember at the meeting, it was in April when we talked about that, Bob.
Yeah.
We said, a matter of fact, I almost don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think you said it was my responsibility to do that in March, but a mistake was made. And you know what, Bob? I know I would like to think that we're all going to be perfect up here, but we're not. We're human like everybody else.
Well, you know,
And that's why, but I'm just saying all straight up.
Yeah.
It should have been done in March. There's no question. But it was corrected. There was nothing illegal about it. We're not trying to backdoor anything. If you remember, every member up here, including myself, ran on that we're going to correct all the mishaps over the last few years. End of story.
yeah. I just like to keep the exchequer on business, that's
Well,
all.
I understand that.
He wasn't even looking.
I know.
Thank you, Bob.
I just don't want to be part of making news. This is so trivial.
I know it is,
Okay.
but like I said, I just want to say.
I can't believe.
I just
that-
want to keep
that
the faith is
people
what I want to do.
talk about something that happened that was so insignificant. Yeah. This was, we're trying to do an investigation. Now, how do you do that in the public? How do you sit around and start looking at things and say, hey, you know what, everybody, we want to do this. This whole idea was a topic that spun around in executive session, and no clear identifying marks were made. I can't believe I'm still talking about this 3 months later. I'm really having difficulty with it.
Well, like I said, this Easter
Okay.
paper is what
Well, you know,
ticked me off.
Silver will keep writing about it as long as somebody will read it,
Well, I keep reading it.
okay?
Don't read it
You know what?
anymore.
You know what? And that's why he gets the big buck.
Save his
You know,
shoes
to
there.
me, I'm not going to deal with the guy. I'm not going to deal and talk with him and keep trying to churn a story that's not there.
Well, like I say, all I want to do is keep the faith with all you people.
Okay, Bob, you can
and-
keep the faith. You were-
Yeah, amen. I mean, would you not, I'm saying as the mayor, and I'm speaking for myself, we made a mistake.
The fact
cart
that
was
you
put
say a
in front-
mistake was made is good enough for me.
The cart was put in front of the horse. There was nothing done sneaky.
Okay, that's all I
Believe
want.
me when I tell you.
And that's legit, Bob.
That's
and-
as true as I'm sitting here.
Last word, vote